Thank you. I think we'll kick things off with the late afternoon session here. For those of you who I haven't met, my name is Jack Allen, and I'm coming at this from the investor perspective. I work for a Milwaukee-based investment bank called Baird, and I follow the spinal cord injury segment of the market, specifically lineage cell therapeutics. It's really my pleasure here to moderate a substantial panel discussion here with 6 companies. I was here last year. It's incredible to see the continued growth of this conference from 12 to 6 companies and the enthusiasm for the field. Before we get into the presentations of the specific companies today, I wanted to introduce Adrien Cohen and the recently, launched spinal cord injury venture fund at the Reeve Foundation. Adrien is here to speak a little bit about that venture fund and how he's moving forward early stage research in the space.
Okay, thank you everyone. So yeah, I'm the founding MD of SCI Ventures. We're the first venture philanthropy fund dedicated to SCI. So our goal and our role is to invest into early stage companies to bring the next generation of treatments in SCI. So today we're going to see this afternoon a number of early stage companies on stage. And our role and our ambition is obviously to make sure that there are more and more companies like that that exist in the world. So before we open the stage for the more interesting bit today of hearing about all of this cool innovation they're working on, we thought it'd be great to make sure you have a good sense of what SCI Ventures is about. It's a new fund. We just announced it. And so I'd love to do just 2 quick things. One, I would like to make sure you understand the background story behind SCI Ventures, why we decided to create that with the Reeve Foundation and all the foundations backing the vehicle. And then 2, I'll make sure to really highlight the key specificities of the fund and how do we approach investment in early stage innovation in SCI. Okay, so why did we create the fund? So that story actually began with more of a personal connection to SCI. Just like many people in the room, my family was impacted by an SCI. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I've built 2 very large companies. I have seen what venture capital can do to accelerate innovation. But after the accident, I was very frustrated to see the lack of options for our community. And I got on a call with a number of maybe 40 scientists, labs in the US, in Europe. Some people are here today, just to get a sense of the landscape and to get a sense of the innovation that was out there. Candidly, I ended up very frustrated and disillusioned with those calls. It just, on the one hand, it felt like there was some really exciting innovation. Some speakers talked about it an hour ago, gene therapy, genome engineering, brain-computer interfaces, so some acceleration in science and technology that could benefit the SCI community. And on the other hand, it was also very clear that there was very limited translation of this innovation in the real world. So people living with SCI did not have access to this innovation. And the main obstacle that became quite clear to me was the lack of funding for early stage innovation. Essentially, venture capital is not playing its role today in SCI, and we need a vehicle that is going to take a risk on early stage innovation to take it from the lab and bring it to the real world. And so the idea of creating a fund that would be dedicated to this gap in the ecosystem, to plug this gap and bring the best innovation and the most promising innovation to our community. And that is when I got introduced to the Reeve Foundation. And they told me about the investment they had made in Onward Medical, which will be on stage tomorrow. They told me about the venture philanthropy model, so this idea that you can reinvest all of your gains so that you create a vehicle that keeps on financing innovation on a specific mission. And I got really inspired by the model. We decided to create the fund to address this gap in the space. So fast forward to today, we've announced 2 weeks ago the first venture philanthropy fund dedicated to SCI. This initiative has grown to be bigger than just a Reeve initiative. Reeve initiated the model, but we, together with Maggie, Marco, also realized quite quickly that we didn't want to have a world with multiple small funds coming at the problem, that it was really important to have more collaboration and one single vehicle with the right scale to make a difference in the space. And so we garnered the support of additional foundations that all became co-founders of the fund, meaning that they're putting funding in the vehicle, but they're also bringing expertise and network to make sure that our vehicle will be a success. So I'm really pleased today to confirm that we have 5 leading foundations backing the vehicle. I think it's the first time that those foundations are coming together behind one single investment vehicle, which I think is a great signal that our market and community and field is becoming more mature. We have the RE Foundation, Shepherd Center, Wings to Life, Spinal Research in the UK, and the Promobilia Foundation in Sweden, all getting together behind the fund. We've already raised in a year close to 30 million, and we want to get to 40 million for Fund 1. I'm conscious of time, so I will just say a few more words before we open the stage to the companies we are backing for some of them, and others we might be investing in shortly. What's very unique about the fund and our approach and ambition is the collective sort of superpower that we're getting from the foundations. We are not going to get to a cure and more treatments in SCI with 40 million, but what we can do is activate the market and make the field much more investable than it is today. That is the role of SCI Ventures. Because we have the expertise and the network of those foundations, we know what innovation is promising and less promising. We have all of the assets and all of the ecosystem to nudge the best innovation to the clinic. And by doing so, we're making the field much more investable for private investors and traditional licensed VCs. That is the whole point of the vehicle, is to really catalyze funding in SCI and attract the resources of venture capital to SCI. We're going to need billions of dollars. The only way we get billions of dollars in the space is by making the field less risky to invest, and that's the whole point of the vehicle. So we invest in, and that will be my last slide, our approach, our investment approach is focused on 2 categories. I'm not going to go into the details of the slide, but I would like you to take from this short presentation that we're investing in 2 categories. Near term, we want to see functional improvement for our community. So we want to invest in technologies and innovation that are restoring, improving, replacing functions, starting from the patients and people's priorities, rather. And so that's bucket 1. That's sort of a 5-year horizon. And then obviously our ultimate goal, why we exist, is to eventually get us to a full biological repair of the spinal cord. That will take more time, but we have to start now to get there in the future. And so you're going to see this afternoon, I think 6 or 7 startups. I'll defer back to Jack to introduce them. But you will see that they are a really good mix of those categories. You'll have some companies doing new stimulation strategies, so tech approaches, others doing small molecules, gene therapies, cell therapies, so biological approaches. Some are really focused on functional improvement, so category 1. Others are already working on the longer term ambition and objective of repairing the spinal cord, objective 2. And so hopefully you'll take from this afternoon session or you'll share our hope and conviction that SCI is both treatable and investable. Thank you.